She was 2 points away from making history that no one in her country had ever made. Instead, Alexandra Eala walked off center court to a standing ovation, and honestly, the ovation tells you more about what happened than the scoreline does. On Monday, July 6, 2026, Alexandra Eala lost to Jasmine Paolini 6-4, 4-6, 6-3 in the fourth round of Wimbledon. 2 hours and 21 minutes of tennis in temperatures that climbed to 31 degrees Celsius, roughly 88 degrees Fahrenheit, on a center court packed with people who came specifically to watch her. And sitting in the royal box, watching the whole thing unfold, was Roger Federer, an 8-time Wimbledon champion himself. Let's back up, though, because you need the full picture to understand why this loss is actually one of the biggest stories of the entire tournament. Eala arrived at Wimbledon as the 29th seed, the first Filipino player ever to be seeded at any Grand Slam. Ranked 32nd in the world coming in, this was a player who had never won a main draw match at Wimbledon before this year. 5 previous Grand Slam appearances, 2 second-round finishes, 3 first-round exits. Grass had never really been her surface at this level. Then the tournament started and everything changed. Round 1, she beat Renata Zarazua of Mexico 6-1, 6-2. Round 2, she faced Maya Joint, the Australian who had beaten her in the 2025 Eastbourne final, and this time Eala got her revenge, winning 3-6, 6-2, 6-0. That set up the match that changed everything. Round 3, center court against Iga Swiatek, the defending champion and 3rd seed. Eala won 7-6, 6-2. The defending Wimbledon champion, beaten by a 29th seed who had never won a match at this tournament before that week. That win detonated across the tennis world. Back home in the Philippines, thousands of fans packed watch parties just to see it live. Eala became the first Filipina in the Open era to reach the second week of a Grand Slam, and suddenly this 21-year-old from Quezon City was the biggest story at Wimbledon. So when she walked out for the 4th round against Jasmine Paolini, the 13th seed and 2024 Wimbledon runner-up, there was a real sense that anything was possible. And for a set and a half, it was close. Paolini broke early and took the first set 6-4. Eala answered right back, fighting through a tense back and forth to level things at 4-6 in the second, forcing a decider. The third set stayed on serve through the first 7 games, both players holding, neither budging, until Paolini finally broke in the 8th game to go up 5-3, then closed it out 6-3. Eala talked afterward about how tight those final moments were, saying it came down to fine details and how you manage yourself in the biggest points. And that's really the story of this match. This wasn't a blowout. This wasn't a case of a young player getting overwhelmed by the occasion. She broke serve twice in that final set exchange. She fought off match-adjacent pressure more than once, and she left everything out there before Paolini's experience. Someone who had already been to a Wimbledon final closed the door. Here's what this run actually means, though, because the headline, Eala loses in the 4th round, completely undersells it. Alexandra Eala became the first player from the Philippines, male or female, to reach the 4th round of Wimbledon in the Open era. She's projected to climb to a new career-high ranking of roughly number 28 in the world. She beat a defending Grand Slam champion on center court. She did all of this as a 29th seed who had never won a match at this tournament in her life before this June. And this wasn't a one-off either. This grass season for Eala has been genuinely exceptional from the start. She won a WTA title on grass earlier in the summer, built real momentum heading into London, and then turned that form into the best 2 weeks of tennis of her career on the sport's biggest stage. Jasmine Paolini, for her part, deserves enormous credit here too. This win puts her back into the Wimbledon quarterfinals for the first time since her runner-up run in 2024, where she lost the final to Barbara Krejcikova. She next faces Marta Kostyuk of Ukraine for a spot in the semifinals. Paolini herself admitted afterward that 2026 had been a rocky season for her before this tournament, so this run means just as much to her side of the net. But the story everyone will remember from this match is Eala walking off center court, acknowledging the crowd, making a heart shape with her hands as thousands of fans, including that watch party energy pouring in from back home in the Philippines, gave her an ovation usually reserved for champions, not fourth-round losers. Because that's what this was. Not really a defeat in the way we normally use that word. A 21-year-old who trained on makeshift courts growing up just wrote her country into Grand Slam history, took down a defending champion in the process, and pushed a former finalist to the absolute limit before finally running out of room. The US Open is next. Then another hard court swing. Then, almost certainly, another grass season where Alexandra Eala isn't a surprise anymore. She's simply expected to go deep. Wimbledon 2026 didn't end her story. It's clearly just the beginning of it.